and Elevation Radio.
God bless you. This is Elevation Radio 1, and I'm your host, Pastor Steve, the Music Man Turner. We thank you for taking the journey with us. This is the program that spotlights positive people doing positive work while serving a positive God whose name is Jesus, and that's what it's all about, baby. Listen, the subject matter today is the lack of rain is like a lack of justice. Let me say it one more time. The lack of rain is like a lack of justice. Will there be justice for Mr. Leonard Shand? And so Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 1 through 4 actually talks about a dark period where God is mad at the nation of Israel because of its disobedience and stops the rain, causing a drought that affects the earth. The lack of justice seems just like that. It affects community, city, and a family. Today we will talk to Mrs. Tracy Shand and allow her to explain this urban tragedy. But first, before we get started, let's go to the most beautiful part of this program, and that is the verse to rehearse, done none other than by my wife, the Queen. And you're in Jeremiah 14, verse 1 through 4. You may proceed.
The word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah concerning dearth. Judea moaneth, and the gates thereof language. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. And their nobles have sent their little ones to the waters. They came to the pit and found no water. They returned with their vessels empty. They were ashamed, confounded, and covered their heads. Because the ground, because the ground is chapped, for there was no rain in the earth, and plowmen were. That's all I got.
That's good. That's great. And so this is like it is when there's no rain, when God is drying up the heavens, it affects the earth. And so the shame and the confusion and desperation is like when you are dealing with the lack of justice. Your loved one is no longer around based on justice supposedly being done. And so we're going to talk to the sister of Shand and get into her perspectives on what this means here. And so let's go right into this interview. And welcome to Elevation Radio 1, Miss Tracy Shand. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Oh, we're blessed, and we're keeping it moving here. Oh, I forgot to say this program is sponsored by God. So that's good. Now, who is Tracy Shand?
Who is Tracy Shand? A lot of people ask that question.
Okay.
Tracy is a young woman that was born from Sonia and Milton Shand, and that they are native Jamaicans, so originally from Jamaica, but I was born here in Hartford, Connecticut. I'm from Hartford, Connecticut. That's my home, and I'll never give it up for nothing. The same way I will never give up Jamaica for nothing. I am a soldier for God. I'm a warrior for God. I fight for peace. I fight for justice. I fight for inner peace, inner spiritual peace, for everybody to feel comfortable within themselves and within their surroundings. However, sometimes I ask God, why do people do the things they do? When things can be A, B, C, they make it so difficult. So I guess who is Tracy? I'm just a woman that was here, birthed by the Father, and is here to carry out his mission until he's ready to take me home.
All right. And so we thank you for that. And if anyone wants to support Tracy Shand, wants to make a comment about this scenario, you can call it 1-914-205-5353, 1-914-205-5353. There have been news reports, according to ABC2 and WA9, regarding one Leonard Shand. And I'd rather not talk about all that. I'd rather you talk about it. And who was Leonard Shand to you?
Leonard Shand was the second son born in my family, and there's 13 of us altogether. That includes blood siblings and step siblings. So it's a lot of us. And he was the second one born from my father, the first one born from my mother. And he's my older brother. He was born in Jamaica. He's a native Jamaican, and he came to America. And since he touched ground in this wicked land, it's just another. But my brother's just like me. We're two of a kind. He's just a male version of who I am.
Mm-hmm. So you looked up to him?
Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm. What can you? We're not talking about news reports. We're talking about the human side, because that doesn't. They don't talk about that in reports. What type of person was your brother?
He was very ambitious. You know, anyone in our family is ambitious, but Leonard was very ambitious. He always wanted more. He was family oriented, so he believed in family unity, and that's how we were all raised from our grandparents. And he was a hard worker. He always said he don't depend on no one. God bless the child that has his own. He firmly believed in that. We was born Christian, and he followed the Christian religion for a long time until he went Muslim. And then he will pray 5 times a day, and he believed in, his faith in Allah. Mm-hmm. And, he'd been through a lot, but he was always a survivor. Nothing held him down. He always believed better days will come, and he always fought for it.
You say he had been through a lot. Are you able to say some of his struggles and conquests he was able to do as a survivor?
Well, I will start with 2018. I believe it was May or April of 2018. He was at a he was at a Starbucks. It's always Starbucks giving problems. But he was at a Starbucks, and, he normally visits the Starbucks for coffee, tea, whatever. And he must have asked a man for a cigarette, and the guy must have got belligerent with feminine. People just sometimes go back and forth just in basic, argument or whatever. So my brother decided to just walk away from it. And a police officer came up to my brother, officer fighting in New Carrollton, came up to my brother and was like, hey, he says, hey, I'm good, no problems. He's just walking away from the officer. The officer kept picking him up, coming after him. And my brother just kept saying, I didn't do anything wrong. We don't have no problem here. I'm good. And the officer decided to pull out a knife. And when I heard it, I was like, officer, pull out knife? Like, who does that? But it was true, because video proved that it was true. The officer pulled out a knife and went to stab my brother close to his heart. And then went to stab him again, ended up hitting him in his butt. Tried to kill my brother, so my brother had to defend himself if he wanted to see another day of life. Both parties ended up in the hospital. Internal Affairs went and created their own narrative in their report. The officers that showed up on the scene and the officers that got stabbed created their narrative, where my brother ended up getting charged with multiple charges from Prince George's County. And my brother kept saying, I didn't do anything. The officer attacked me. The officer was trying to kill me. And charges were filed. They locked up my brother, and my brother's still sitting there in defense. They got public defender to say, let's plea. And my brother's like, no, we ain't playing because I didn't do nothing. I need you to fight this case and believe what I'm telling you. I didn't do nothing. The officer is wrong. And then it came out, the video footage of what actually happened. All charges were dropped off my brother. Every single charge, and he was released. And when this happened, my brother went back to the state's attorney's office, and he said, I need to file charges against this officer. I need for them to pick up these charges on this officer because the officer attacked me. And as you can see, evidence is there. The officer is wrong. Officer Whiting, E. Whiting, is wrong. And they decided they did not want to file charges on the officer. So my brother wrote to the mayor, the governor, to ACLU, and all these other people trying to get help to fight against police brutality and officers that have mental disability to be taken off of the streets. Nothing happened. So that was the continuing saga of my brother's PTSD, of him feeling like there's no one to hold these officers accountable. He doesn't have any help to hold officers accountable for their actions. And then he started to do his research to look into the government system. Mind you, he's been doing research on the government and find out a whole bunch of corruption, which a lot of us are naive about. We just feel like we was raised one way. Believe the government will protect you. But when you really start getting into the accountability, the transparency of the government system within the United States, it's one big, corrupt, evil place. And that's real. So my brother continued to fight. He continued to protest on the street. He continued to speak about it. And it's like it's going to his ears. He says, I refuse to give money, pay money, and anything for the government to continue to prosper to hold people back, until 2019 came, September 2019. September 26, 2019 came. And my brother was at another Starbucks in Hyattsville. So the first Starbucks was in New Carrollton. This Starbucks is in Hyattsville, okay? Mm-hmm. So now he's at the Starbucks in Hyattsville, and he goes in for a cup of water like he normally does, coffee, whatever he gets, and he leaves out to go someplace else. And then you have the manager, Elizabeth, call into the police and say, the guy that assaulted one of our bistros is here. He came into here. He came here Monday, and he assaulted one of our bistros, and he's here now. The dispatcher calls out to police, and the police officer that addresses the dispatcher says, was she there when the bistro was getting assaulted? Was the manager there, or is she going off of what she was told? So the dispatcher, instead of she says, well, I don't know because I didn't ask that question, he lies and say, yeah, she was there. So now you have all these officers going for a man that they feel assaulted a bistro on a Monday. When you ask for the report, when you ask for the camera footage of what happened on the Monday, you can't get nothing. You cannot get a footage to see if it's the guy that they were talking about. You don't get nothing. It's just what they say. The manager that was not there on the scene, and you didn't hear it from the person that got assaulted, that accused my brother of assaulting a bistro. So when they came again, my brother says, no, I didn't do anything again. I didn't do anything. Why are you here? Why are you questioning me? What's the problem? Mm-hmm. And they sit with him for maybe 30 minutes. They walk him down. You got an officer, a big fat white officer trying to kick him in his back to knock him down. My brother said, what are you doing? Then you got another officer that says, let's do vehicle takedown. Vehicle down. Oh, wow. Where they get Mount Rainier police officer, black officer, Mount Rainier police to get in an SUV, not a car, not a cruiser, SUV, to run my brother over at high miles per hour, at least going 20, 30 miles per hour. Speed up on him. Zoom. Running over the sidewalk, running over the middle of in the middle, you know how you have in the middle of the street the little side thing that you can walk on, running over that and trying to knock my brother over with a vehicle trying to kill him. And my brother sat there the whole time. From the whole time they started interacting, my brother said, and I have video footage, my brother kept saying, you're trying to kill me. I don't trust you. You're trying to kill me. Y'all tried to kill me last year in New Carrollton. Now you're trying to kill me this year. You're trying to kill me. I didn't do anything wrong. Y'all trying to kill me. They do the vehicle takedown. And he says, see, I told you, you're trying to kill me. And he says, an officer, let me tell you, some officers to me, it's like, are they insane? Quavo, Officer, excuse me if I say his name wrong, Tulio Quavo says, we're not trying to kill you. Hey, if you see the video footage, what does it look like to you, Quavo? If I try to run you over with my SUV, doesn't it look like I'm trying to kill you? Anybody with sense will believe that. Anybody with sense will see it, and they'll say, no, you're trying to kill him. Even bystanders that was on the scene said they're trying to kill him. They're trying to give a reason to kill him. They could have been, so if they wanted to lock him up, they could have been took him down and locked him up. They're trying to create a reason of why they have to kill him.
Let me ask you a question here. Okay.
Yeah.
It's almost like I'm listening or this is a movie. It's insane. Was he armed with something?
Yes, my brother had two. At first, I didn't believe it, but then the video footage, it showed that he had two knives on him. Where he get the knives from, that's where you don't see. See, like in the video footage that Highfield sent out, you don't. And now the police is on him. They're all wearing body cams. They don't show the footage of where my brother's book bag went to. We didn't get the book bag back, or what the content that was in the book bag, and we don't see where the knives actually came from. You understand? So if I have a body cam on and I'm video recording, I have car cruisers that have car cam, I can see everything. I'm supposed to see every single piece of footage. You don't see that. You only see what they want you to see. So I don't know where the knife came from. I can't tell you that. And I don't know the book bag that you see in the beginning when my brother's walking down the hill. When you see the book bag, you see it on his back. Then next time, you don't see nothing.
All right.
And there was a lady. I have a video footage lady that spoke at a council meeting that said when she interacted with Leonard when the police was attacking him, he did not have any knives in his hand. He had his hands up in the air saying he didn't do anything wrong. What do you want? I didn't do anything. And she says, hey, just let them take you. He was like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. And the lady testified, and I have the footage of that, where the lady testified and said, I didn't do anything wrong. That they said that, my brother said that, and he had both hands up in the air, and he was not armed.
This is becoming something because now I saw the video myself today, and also they talked about that they tried in their words to the press on CBS that they tried to de-escalate the situation by using flashbang, beanbags, tasers, but that he was unaffected. But then talk about what prompted the whole thing to begin with. In terms of the manager's statements and all that. So perhaps the manager of one Starbucks talked to the other manager. How close are these Starbucks together?
I can't say how close. It's like New Carrollton is one city, and then Hyattsville is another city, as in miles apart. I don't really know, but all I know is that if you're going to talk about the de-escalation, right, you say you use flashbangs, you say you use, not flashbangs, you say you use, we didn't get to that part yet. So you say you use tasers and all these things to try to de-escalate. So my question is part of de-escalation trying to hit him with the vehicle? Is that part of your de-escalation? Is part of de-escalation is firing a flashbang and a beanbag at him at the same time to where other officers don't know what you're doing, so where when you fire it, it sounds like a gun going off where he tries to move out of the way and all other officers all start firing because they think, oh, it's time to shoot? Is de-escalation, that mean that you start angling my brother to an open parking lot, so you do not fire shots into a building, you fire shots into an open parking lot. So now you're trying to get him to it's like pushing a dog inside of a gate, or trying to escort a dog into a gate so that you can kill it. So if you don't got control of a dog, to use this to identify, my brother, but this is the best way that this is what these people understand. So you have to just use what they understand. So you have someone that you say they're trying to de-escalate the situation. So part of de-escalation, trying to angle them to an open parking lot and try to tell three people, planning and say, okay, we're going to angle him to this parking lot, and then we're just going to shoot him. Is that part of de-escalation? I'm just wondering. I'm curious.
I was never trained that way. Now, of course, when it's getting out of hand, and it has to be what's the word I'm looking for? We stand around the street and actually huddle and put new ideas together to cover ourselves. It normally means that to the reporter, the words were that he became aggressive and he charged at the sergeant who was shooting the beanbag shotgun. And that's when, according to the papers, they opened fire and basically executed him on the street. But that's what they said.
So wait a minute. Stop right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Stop right there. Let me answer that. Well, first things first. My brother never attacked no one. In the footage, you can see it. He never attacked anyone. You threw a beanbag, and he had to move out of the way of the beanbag. And right when you fired the beanbag, you fired the flashbang, and he's moving out of the way, and that gave you reason to shoot. This was all planned strategically. How can we kill him? This was all a strategic plan. Because why would you throw a beanbag at him? Remember, he's not attacking you. He's walking, he's pacing back and forth, he's telling his truth. And don't forget, your radio just signaled you from the dispatcher that the mediation person, right, is about 5 minutes away. They're very close. Negotiation person is about 5 minutes away. They're close to you. And you chose that time to fire off a beanbag and a flashbang to trigger other officers that wasn't even aware of you and your two companions' strategy. So that when you started firing, everybody else, even what is his name? I think Chris Evans, he was so off. Like, he couldn't believe it. He's like, oh, my God. Like, we just took a life. And that was a rookie.
He's a rookie.
And you know what an officer said to him? A black officer went to him and said to him, don't worry about it. Don't talk to nobody. Don't talk to the press. Don't talk to nobody. Just talk to your lawyer and go to therapy. If you want to call me, you can call me because I got 4 under my belt.
Ooh. Oh. I need to take a break.
They can't subpoena me. His last words. They can't subpoena me. So that means he has a lot of heart.
I want to stop here for a second because I want to go back to what you said when he was trying to fight for justice by writing letters and writing letters to the governor, the mayor, and to some other people. Is that right?
Yes, that is right.
Oh, okay.
He said in the video, in the foot, he said that he was telling the officers, I wrote so many letters trying to get justice for what happened to me. And that's how we ended up finding out that he was really trying to have people like hold this officer E. Whiting from 2018 accountable for stabbing him.
Let me, I got to be careful what I'm saying here, but as a person who's familiar with being in trouble when it comes to high-ranking officials from the government, once he started writing letters and wouldn't let it go, tried to do the American thing of pursuing, and it's the rightful thing as a black man or any man to pursue justice in an injustice situation, he actually put a target on his back. Because what happened is the governor probably went and talked to the mayor, wondered who's this guy causing problems, blah, blah, blah. Talked to the chief of police, down to whoever was responsible for that area. And so it was a green light was given to make sure that this troublemaker did not proceed and expose us for what we're doing. I lost a partner that way. That's what I'm talking about. So a scenario was created to make sure that he never get out.
I can understand that. And that's why I say the United States is a very corrupt. Their system is corrupt. It's not what people think. Oh, I remember when I was taking legal classes. I'm a certified paralegal, and I have my degree in paralegal studies. And I remember when I was taking my classes, my professors were state's attorneys and judges. And my idea of the judicial system was it's a system that you can actually get justice from. And I remember someone says, what's ethical is not logical, and what's logical is not ethical in the system. And I couldn't understand that. And as my studies continue, I was better able to understand it. But I really didn't get the full concept of what that professor was talking about until PG County Police killed my brother and I became an activist. Then I understood. The U.S. government, period. I don't care what state you belong to. I don't care where you live. I don't care if it's the federal government, state government. It is a corrupt system. And unless you're ready to really, really, really fight, it's going to stay corrupt. The richer get richer and the poor stay poorer. It's about power and money. That's it.
Something has just happened to my computer, which has been worked on all day. But I find that when it depends on who I have on the program and the subject matter of what I'm going to be discussing, I've had technical issues that come out of nowhere. And that's not, of course, not by accident. That's usually as a result of some agency, some municipality playing with my communication line.
So we're not live anymore? So we're not live anymore?
Oh, we're still live. I just can't. My screen has to fade out, and
okay.
Yeah, no, that's not normal. But go ahead, keep. We'll keep going until something happens.
Yeah. So at the end, like when they all plot and plans, and my brother end up being murdered. They say, don't say murder, say killed. No, it was a murder. It was assassination. That's what I call it. That's what it is for me. None of these officers was indicted. And then on top of that, the officers were put on administrative leave before they can even be investigated. They already, a woman, I don't know if she's a woman or a man because I think she claimed both sides. But at the end of the day, a woman that sat back and pulled these officers off administrative leave saying that, I need more officers in the street for COVID. That Ottawa chief of police ended up getting a promotion right after my brother's death, and she's now representing a different county. So this system is so flawed, and the officers are back on duty. Who can mentally handle it, who can't mentally handle it. If they speak out, officers are attacked. Let's not even get into the Graham report, how officers that don't agree with how the system works within the police department are targeted.
That's right.
And attacked because they speak out against the police department, against the police system. So if you got officers on the police force that can't even speak out for the citizens that they are actually protecting, from bad officers that come from Philadelphia, come from Jersey, come from Hagerstown. You know what I'm saying? If you can't speak out against because you're targeted and you're put on the chopping block, you lose your job, you lose your retirement, you lose everything for something that you were trying to defend that is just, then really how justified is this system? How right is this system? It is not right. So when are we going to stop talking?
There was, you're absolutely correct because I'm actually living of it. Some actually lose their lives And so, like Detective Sean Suter, also Ira Weiner, my former partner, who discovered illegalities inside of the Western District in Baltimore City and paid for it with his life. So, yes.
Police should not have to be fearful of their lives when they are protecting citizens in the community. Citizens are not military trained. Police officers are. They should not. There are good officers. There are. I know a few. There are very good officers out there in these streets. So they should not have to fear for their lives because they speak out against the corruption within their department. That's not right. Like, nobody with a sane mind can really wrap that to make it even sense. So if police is in the police department and have to fear for their lives, us as citizens on the street, what are you telling us? We got to fear for our lives too, because we're not protected. How many times you have to write legislators? How many times you have to write senators? How many times a senator come on and say, we need more laws in place or more policies in place or more bills in place to protect police officers from citizens? We're not the ones killing you. You are killing us. So why you need protection from citizens? We didn't do nothing to you. It's you out here fighting us. So wrap my head around that, because I'm not comprehending that. And mind you, I have a degree. I have multiple degrees. I've studied business. I've studied criminal justice. I've studied human services. I've studied communications. I've studied paralegal studies. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. Wrap my head around all of that.
It's basically greed. The senators and congressmen need to be to write the laws to protect and have to be enforced, and those are the enforcement. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to think here. What happens is if the governor or the mayor has some issue or whatever, he calls the chief of police and he calls, like I said, that go downhill. You're trying to do what you're trying to do justifiably, but then you get orders to go and take care of something else, to go into this area, to start arresting people back in the day when I was doing it that had broken fly windows, and so you had to pull them over because they're probably drug dealers, and then something would come across the wire that talked about new gangs coming in and all that. You had to go to an area and start pulling over cars because in the area that I used to work in, the judge lived in the area and he had the mayor's number one speed dial. So he called the mayor. So I got too many cars running red lights here. Get somebody up here to take care of this. And then no matter what you were going to do, I was going to go somewhere else. We were yelled and screamed at to go up to that area and to go and fix that problem. So, they respond to the wishes of the higher ups when it comes to going places. What you do once you start, because we have, let's be frank, we have Klansmen in uniform as well coming into areas that assign.
Klansmen in the government as well.
Yeah.
You shut down the Black Panthers. You shut them down because they wanted to create a political party. But the Klansmen can stand when they say it, kill anyone that's not European white. They say it. They don't care. They're going to tell you they're out for assassination and to murder you, but therefore they are able to create funds and get money and do what they do. But you shut down the Black Panthers. You shut down all other black political all other parties that form their organization to protect their community. You shut that down, and they're just doing it peacefully. Klansmen don't do nothing peacefully. Then they just run up inside the Capitol building to try to assassinate the vice president.
Wait. You're talking about the Proud Boys and all these other. They had so many folks climbing the walls like little white monkeys, and that's okay. They're not getting real jail time. The person who initiated the whole thing still out making comments and trying to put people in, trying to defraud elections, and that dude to be locked up under Donald Trump. Yep.
Donald Trump don't even need to be locked up underneath no jail. Donald Trump needs for God to come visit him, because Donald Trump is like, he's doing too much. There's a time when you get a person that do too much. Kennedy didn't deserve what he deserved, but some people deserve something. But at the end of the day, this country and many other countries, it's not just America. So let's not even make it that it's just America that has these. No, it's all over. It's problems all over. More power, more money, more wickedness, more evilness. No. At the end of the day, it's really simple. It's ABC. When you're studying, when you go for your degree and you're studying the right way of doing things, and you're studying, how to be a good person. You're studying how to do things justly. You know what I'm saying? Within the system that you have to work with. You get me? But then when you get in that system, it's like, what? This is not what I studied. This is not what you taught me. And these people, like, they send them out to do all they send police officers out. We want you in this neighborhood, lock up these amount of people, and you have these amounts of arrests that you need to make this quota. Like, that's not logical to me. And no matter how much we talk about it, we could talk about it all day long. It's not like nobody knows about it. People know about it. But the reason why people sit back and don't do anything and just say, you know what, hey, as long as they ain't knocking on my door, I just let everybody else go out there and fight, is because they did not knock at your door. Look at Dorothy Elliott, where her son got assassinated in a police cruiser, tinted out windows. The boy ain't do nothing, and you got him in handcuffs, and you set him up in the back seat of a police cruiser. Up until now, that lady ain't getting no justice, and she's been fighting over 20-something years. She's an old woman. God is probably saying he's just waiting for her to get her justice, for him to come and say, it's time to come home now. And you won't give the lady her justice. Like, look at what is her name? Gaines. I forget her first name.
Corrine.
Corrine Gaines. She got a speeding ticket or some type of ticket. You go serve her with for a ticket, and she ended dead, and you shot her 2-year-old son. And then when the jury says, okay, we agree with her, you know what I'm saying, this officer is guilty, the judge says, no, you've made the wrong agreement. The officer not guilty, and we ain't giving you nothing. Hey, people like them, it's no more talk. I can't do it with you. I can't do it because it's clear as ABC, 1, 2, 3, and you make it more difficult. If you give the citizens what they ask for and it's logical, then why not follow through with the grants? They're asking you, you need to do this. Get crooked cops off of the police force. You sitting there keeping crooked cops on the police department. They say, repeal these laws, change these laws. Governor Hogan going to sit there and say, no, veto all of that. Hey, go sit on somewhere, Governor. Hey, don't have me say something that, yeah.
No, not on this program, Christian program. And so, but I understand your frustration. And the question, why did the judge turn it over? It was because he was politically either influenced, or that, most judges, how's it work? You're a cop, you go to law school, you go to school, you become a lawyer, you go from the lawyer, you go to the bench and become a judge. So, and so I've seen police officers in the northern area be sequestered at Wabash District Court, and they were saying that the guy did something wrong, and so the judge sequestered him, brought in one, sent him out, brought another one in. They both perjured themselves and lied. Did the judge enact perjury charges on them? No, because they were European. He released the black man, but that's not really justice for him. He was falsely accused, he was falsely arrested, and all that. And so, the system is crooked. Every system actually is crooked, especially government. The arrogance of government, some of the government, only a few they are asked to do what they should do, especially the government here, where you got folks that want to hear what the mayor is going to say about something, or the city council, or whomever, and they just refuse to come out. They wanted your vote though. So let me ask you, has Chief Henry Stowinski talk to you, had anything to say to you. Do you
No.
know who he is?
Yes, I know who he is. Chief Galinsky didn't have anything to say to us. It was Aisha Brave Boy and Angela Also Brooks that got words coming out of their mouth, which at the end of the day goes in one ear and come out the other because they're being trained and, coached on what they need to say and what they don't need to say. Even with their report when it came out and saying, well, a specialist said that this, that, but then a specialist, it's like when you read the report, it's like, but the specialist agreed that they should not have a flashbang and they should not have a beanbag. Like, how does that work? You're still not indicting the officers. And then one thing that's messed up about the system is that when it goes to the grand jury, to me, my personal opinion is that with the grand jury, it should not just be the one side, meaning the police, the state's attorney talking to the grand jury. It should be the person's attorney that they hired to represent their family, their loved one, and the state's attorney both going the grand jury. Just like in any other case, when you go up and see a jury of 6 or 12 people, you have to go, it has to go up against these people, and then they make a judgment. When you're only getting one-sided and one-sided news, when you're only getting one side of information and you're not getting the other side of information, you will not have the full information to make a proper decision. And that's why I feel like the office did not get indicted. And the fact that the system is set up this way and it has not changed just shows you the system is not for the citizens. It's for the people that is of higher power and what they want. It's not for us. And you keep saying that we have a voice, but when we go to vote, how does our voice be heard? It's not, and you hear them say it's not. The vote is not determined by a popular vote. And then you have this orange-head man that come out and say, well, you want to stop people from voting. We want to suppress voters. We want to suppress this because he wants to get back in office. I suggest you go have a set of them. Let somebody else take the stand. It's just like when Obama went into office and everybody said, now we got a black officer. Black people felt so proud. We got a black man in office. But don't forget my black and Latino community. Even though we have a black president, doesn't mean he has control of nothing. He is just there for show. And remember, Obama don't want to get assassinated like JFK. So he's going to, do what he can, and some things he can't. That's how I look at Obama. There's a lot of things they say, Obama did this. Yeah, but you got to understand, he's a black man in a white world. What do you think that man can do before they kill him?
So let me ask you this. So we've discussed the facts, the issues, the myths, and the reality, and the problems. What can we do as citizens to make it better, or to make it where we are heard, and have an equal voice and be respected?
The first thing we can do is stop fighting against each other. There's people in the movement, and movement defines the whole movement in general to make America a better place, because America has never been better. America's never been great. So to actually get to the point of America actually winning greatness is for people to stop fighting people in the movement, other activists to stop fighting against other activists, other people trying to be say what you want, what people want to hear. Actually say what you mean. People have political aspirations that are in this movement, where they come and say, yeah, I got you, I understand, that. And then when they get up there to actually make change, they don't do it. Aisha Brave Boy, thank you very much. You get me? They don't do it. They don't follow through. You get me? And even with what is it? Angela Also Brooks, next one. They come and they tell you, well, we're trying to do this, and they go against everything they're trying to say. Even running for president, they tell you everything you want to hear to have you vote for them, and they go in there and they do something different. So we have to stop as people, right? Even in mayor, right? We have to stop as people, as human beings. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. None of that matters. As human beings, we are all human beings on this planet. You understand? And it starts with us trying to fight against one another to reach your personal goals. Because people have personal goals, and that's what I've learned in this movement, and that's why I say I can't do it with y'all if y'all not going to be real, if y'all not going to face the facts, if y'all going to fight against me and make up lies on me and create a narrative that doesn't even exist. I cannot be a part of this movement because I'm fighting against legislators. I'm fighting against the judicial system. I'm fighting against police. I'm fighting against the corruption within the government, federal and state, county, and district. I don't got time to be fighting activists. I shouldn't have to fight with you. So as soon as you stop doing, that's why Martin Luther King is dead. That's why Malcolm X is dead. That's why Marvin came here and said, you know what, screw y'all, I'm going home. That's why things happen. Because you got people in this movement that is not about the same mindset that you're on. My mindset is on fighting the system to make it better for everybody. And I'm not going to kiss up to Aisha Brave Boy because I want to get something done. It's either you do it or you're not. I'm not about that kiss up game. And see, that's why I'm not probably built for this movement. That's why I'm not built, because I'm not going to do it. If you do something like with NAACP Bob Ross, when he came out against my family and said something that's like, what are you talking about? You didn't even get the whole story. You didn't even talk to the family, and then had to go back and change his statement. See, once you do that, there's no more coming back and saying, oh, well, no, you messed up. Now make it right. And if you can't make it right, then I have nothing to say to you.
Okay. What chapter of the NAACP was that?
In PG County.
Okay. So I see that the virus has spread. I used to be the third and the second and the first vice president of the NAACP in Baltimore. And the reason why that I don't
live in Baltimore, so I don't know too much about Baltimore.
No, but based on what you just said about what he did out there, it's the same situation here. You got the same thing out there that we have here, and that is that the NAACP has lost its original foundation and focus, and has become politicized because it's been basically, as the president here was bought off, and it was in league with the mayor and followed everything the mayor said. Every mayor said. We're not focused on the street, not focused on the ground, not focused on the people, and to make life better. And when the black people are disenfranchised and assaulted, the very fabric of civil rights was lost because we weren't getting anything. We're still not getting anything. You're not getting anything. So what's the point of having it?
No, but right. Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. When you create Black Lives Matter and nobody believes in the Black Lives Matter organization. See, they believe in the Black Lives Matter movement, saying Black lives do matter. You get people that want to play you for a fool and said, well, all people matter. Of course, idiot, all people matter. But we're not talking about all people. We're talking about black people that is the majority, the ones that's getting killed in the streets anywhere they go. So come to me like you don't have sense. You know, that's like being in America and just saying, well, the police is the problem. Not only the police is the problem, the FBI is the problem, the CIA is the problem, all of them, the governor problems, the mayors are problems, everything. Senators, the House, the Senate, everything is a problem. Everything is a problem. Clean up shop, get rid of the problem. You're talking to educated people. You're not talking to people that don't have any sense, or they don't have any common sense, or they're not educated. You're talking to people that have doctorates, masters, bachelor's degrees. You're talking to those people that have a lot of sense, and they come and they talk nonsense to you. So when this happens, it's not just the police or this area or this system. No, it's everything all together. Clean up shop. And that starts from the head, from all the way to the head, from Congress, all the way down to the bottom of the totem pole, which is police.
All right. They're not going to volunteer to leave their plush offices and getting their fat salaries and embezzlements. Oops, no, I said it. Or what makes them tick at your expense voluntarily. So besides trying to vote them out.
That's why America's going to stay the way how it is for many more years to come before we see justice, many more years to come before America can finally say, we're actually great now. We're all going to be dead and gone before that happens.
Well, this is an example of what's called the one world government foretold in the Bible, that all this stuff you're talking about is going to be. And then there'll be a new government when God comes back. But faith cannot be changed, and works. The works is doing what you got to do to get these greasy, non-working, murderous, killing folk, pray them out, put them out, vote them out, and getting your legislator to finally do something for a change, maybe going down there to see him, and actually force them by your complaints and petitions to do something about this kind of nonsense, writing letters and all that kind of stuff. Everything needs to be done.
Let me say one more thing, is that I strongly believe God. My faith is very, very strong. I've seen things that people be like, oh my gosh, you really seen some stuff that just can't even be real. And one thing I know about my God prays on a daily basis. You can't hide from him. So even when you do your thing and you retire and you live to a very old age, there's still another life that's going to come that you're going to have to answer to, because this is not where we stop. This is the beginning, and there's another life that you're going to have to answer to, and that's the eternal life. And which way you want to go, just make your decision on how you want to get there. Because at the end of the day, what you do will come out. What's hidden in the dark will come to light. And yes, they went and they assassinated my brother and they murdered him and they killed him down. You can't bring my brother back. But as I sit down here and I protest again, the medical examiner and, all types of police officers and government officials that's not doing their job, that we told you that, hey, this needs to be done. You put this into place. This is what needs to be done, and you're not doing it. Hey, at the end of the day, I'm just a human being serving a greater purpose. It's God you got to answer to, and I've seen him work. So when he comes for you, don't even worry about me coming for you. Worry about him coming for you, because what people call blessing, other people call orbia.
Can you tell us what that means?
It means you sit up in your pedestal and say, this is a blessing. I done made it. I'm county executive. I'm the governor. I'm this. There's another force working that's going to destroy either your health, destroy your family, destroy something else that means a lot more to you. And you're going to sit back and say, why is this happening to me? And you're not even going to know why. A person don't have to touch you, because God has the power to touch you.
That is definitely true. Let me appreciate all your contributions here. Let me segue here. Queen, are you still there? Leora, are you still there? Okay. Let me take a commercial break here for a second. We'll play some music, but I can't see it on my board here.
I am still here.
What's with the delay in response?
I was trying to I had it on mute. I was trying to get it back up.
Okay.
I had it on mute.
All right. And so, have you heard all of this that has been revealed by Tracy Shand as what it's kind of awesome. It's kind of disturbing. It's to think that this is the protectors are not protecting. The system is just foul. Yeah. And this kind of same thing, happening out there was happening here to Tawanda Jones and her brother. And so the
and
medical
even to
examiner.
her cousin, and even to her cousin. Like she's not only fighting for her brother, now she's fighting for her cousin. So how many times you gotta go after this lady and her family to where she gotta stay out in these streets to fight for her family because police keep murdering them and there is no justice? How many times she gotta do this and then keep picking up other people that are impacted to help her fight? To say, hey, they are not only coming for my family, they'll come for yours. And then people going to her and saying, Tawanda, they did it to my family too. How many people we have to hear speak out for people to get involved? And you know why people don't get involved? Because activists are fighting against activists. There's people in the movement that have political aspirations. There are people in the movement that is not really about the fight. They're about popularity and getting their name out there. Forget your name. Forget popularity. Forget political aspirations. We are talking about lives that are dropping dropping like fish in the water. They're dropping dead. We're talking about lives here. We're not animals. And that's something that European America that is racist. We are not animals. We are not creatures in the night that's going to come and slaughter you in your bed like the KKK constantly keep doing. We're not those people. We constantly forgive and we forget because God says that's what we're supposed to do, and we worship him and we walk with him. So when you have a heart, if I have a heart and I have a soul and I have a mindset and I see my mindset is going left, I get on my knees and I pray, God, please don't serve me to the devil. Keep me in your arms and cover me in the blood of Jesus Christ. Cover me, oh Father God. Let no weapon form against prosper. Let my enemies see their wrong ways and turn to good. And let the good people don't turn to be my enemies.
If it wasn't for God would wipe all of us out. If he said before, if he could find 10 good righteous people, he would spare the city. If he found 9, if he found, he made a count. Then he came down to find 1, I'll spare the city. And so the reason why some people, let me just say what I feel right now, and that is, maybe I shouldn't say it. Mayor Brandon, who refuses to attend town halls, who secretly orders demolitions of historic black neighborhoods after promising the people he would come out and talk to them and spare their location. These kind of tricky, nasty, and he's doing it in a long line of other mayors and other folks. What's going on all around from the government to the nonsense with the Republican Party and all that is that he would wipe it all out, start fresh like Moses. I'll wipe your people out, and I'll give you a fresh new nation that will listen to you. Obedient. And he pleaded for them. If it wasn't for one righteous person pleading that God wouldn't put his awesome power of judgment and anger, because once he goes, there ain't no coming back. That's the only reason why you're here, not because your looks, your bank account, your political affiliation or relationship. It's about the mercy of God. But after a while, God gets tired of stuff. He will come for you. And when he does, it's going to be all over it. So faith and works. I'm going to say this. My mama said years ago that in 1968, killing a lot of black men and blah, 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 blah. And so she said it began to stop. And I said, how did it stop, Mama? She said they began to fire back and start shooting white officers. And that they started toning down. We don't want it to get to that point, but, we didn't fire the first shot.
Sometimes we gotta do what we gotta do at the end of the day, and who don't like it. But I'm not the pastor is he speaks his truth, and nothing I say he is agree or not agree with it. All I'm saying is that after with that last statement is sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and you can't be mad at when a movement starts forming a whole different way. Don't be mad. Just knew it was coming.
And we'll pray for you, and okay. And God bless you. Listen, next week we'll have on Tony D, who's going to be here from the DWGN, General Manager and reporting artist. He's going to talk about veteran abuse, of how the veterans who served this great, well, it was a great nation when they served God, have kicked the veterans to the curb. Oh, my goodness. Don't miss it. And that's next Saturday at 5:30, God willing. And kudos and strength to civil rights activist Tracy Shand. Thank you for sharing with us and being unafraid to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. So I hope you got it. And thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I pray for the activists out there, and I hope that y'all all continue to fight.
Amen. And God bless you. So we thank you again. And this has been Radio 1.
Thank you.
Keep your head up.
God bless you.